Technology throughout recent years has changed as it always does, but with it becoming more prominent within education, teachers and students find themselves having to adapt to accommodate this change. While technology within the classroom has ups and downs, further investigation reveals the enhancement of learning and creativity it develops. The mental effect on teachers and staff shows how technology has changed their job and how they go about doing it. Mr. Mankey, a school counselor at McHenry West High School, and Mr. Watson, a technology teacher at Parkland School, expressed their experiences with this change.
My first several years here, we had the computer station and the monitor, and everything was static. You couldn't take it with you. You had to bring hard copies of things everywhere you went. It's been nice. The wireless component has been huge. It allows us to be mobile and kind of get outside of the walls of our office or a classroom or wherever our profession has us practice.
It's definitely changed it. It's in some aspects it's made it a little easier. Sending out a document is much easier than going to the copy machine and making however many copies. Like last week, I was gone with some sick kids at home, and I was still able to send documents to kids. I was still able to even live chat with kids. If kids had questions, I'd be able to just pop on the computer for a few minutes and type in a response for them. Whereas before, that's something that couldn't happen. You were stuck with whoever the substitute was.
The positives of technology in education seem to outweigh the negatives, but for this to be the case, teachers must adjust their teaching styles to help students change from being consumers of information to being producers of knowledge.
I think the biggest change is not just myself, but a lot of teachers, they have to transition from just using technology as kind of a resource to actually implementing it within your classroom. So knowing how to use the different programs, but also using the programs to be able to further the kids' learning. Not just saying look something up on the internet, but actually incorporating sites or programs within the curriculum itself. So a lot of teachers, they tend to kind of fear the technology. I think the one thing that about the class that I have now is I kind of embrace the not knowing aspect of it. There's a lot of stuff that when the kids walk into the technology classroom here, they actually will know more than me on a certain topic or subject or program or something. And I think that's a hard transition for a lot of teachers, is having students come in that know more than them on the technology.
I went to the McHenry Public Library to see what the people there were using. I wasn't surprised to see a variety of adults, students, and children there using the computers. As I walked around, I found myself in some deserted rows of bookshelves. People now find themselves using the internet and technology to find their information. Not only were these people using computers, but students in school are too. The learning curve at this switch can be difficult, but when implemented correctly, technology within education can have many advantages that students can grab a hold of and use to create and to learn. Over 50% of today's jobs require some degree of technology skills, and that number will only increase as time goes. Technology within the classroom must take advantage of these positives in order to help build the workforce of tomorrow, today.
I think so. I think it's more positive. It's empowering for students to have the technology in front of them. Using one small example, with course registration, allowing students to literally key in their classes. Although, in a way, it's kind of data entry. Asking students to actually do that themselves, I noticed it gave students feelings of ownership more. They were able to make more informed choices with courses, and in the classroom, you can do more. It's more interactive. Again, when used the right way, it's more authentic, and it really can hit. It's multimodal as far as learning goes, so it hits students who have learning styles that may not align with a traditional classroom setup. But it's positive. I mean, there's always ways to improve things, but it's only going to get better.
Oh yeah. I think mainly because just the information that they could draw. Going back years, like Wikipedia, I could spend hours just reading one article, and then it leads me to another article, and then I learn about that article, and then I go to the next article, and then I learn about that. Like, it's just an overwhelming sense of information. Whereas before, with a textbook, I was completely limited to what I was learning and researching and so on. So I think technology is definitely playing a positive role in terms of educating.
The MCHS student counseling team recently made the switch to online digital registration, and Mr. Makey seems to be happy with the reviews he has gotten from the students.
As far as the efficiency, I mean, the first time you do anything that big in scale, there's going to be a few bugs to work out, but overall, it's gone pretty smoothly. The last couple of years, one of the many reasons why we went away from the pencil and paper registration is the last couple of years it's become really, really clunky. Students simply they weren't doing it, and they would show up here with absolutely nothing done. There's a lot of reasons behind that, but it got to the point that, kind of going back to your word efficient, that was becoming the less efficient way to do it. Well, we still had some unprepared students, but compared to the last couple of years, it was a lot better.
The MCHS student counseling team recently made this switch to online digital registration, and so far students have responded positively. Technology has this ability to be great for everyone and education, but no one can tell what the future holds.
Well, we never know, because technology is always changing. I mean, who would imagine that? I'd be sitting here with, the laptop recording me right now and all that. Online learning is something it's been around even since when I was in middle school and high school. I took a class remotely through cameras and stuff like that through a college when I was in high school. So that's been around for, close to 15, 20 years. Online classes, taking online classes on things online, like I even do that today. And that's stuff will continue to grow and develop a little bit further. Whether or not we get to the point where, we have dedicated high schools that are just purely online. We have stuff similar to that today, but I don't foresee the brick and mortars completely going away. Mainly because you have the social aspect, you have the group teamwork aspect, and then you have the hands-on aspect that you need as well. And technology is a great aid in all of that stuff, and it allows you to explore and talk to people all over the world with those things. But there will still need to be kind of a foundation or a base to kind of start from.
Granted, I'm not in the classroom the bulk of the time, but when used appropriately, technology can enhance learning. It's one thing to use technology as just to simply display information, but when students use it to create something new and authentic, that's when it becomes real, and that's when it takes learning to extra steps that we couldn't reach before.
You've probably overlooked how much technology plays a role in your education, and it's about to play an even bigger role in the future. Technology is everywhere, and with it being in your school experience, you need to learn how to use it efficiently.